What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Paige with the Page, and today we're going to be doing my anticipated releases for quarter 2 of 2022. Holy dooly! I originally was going to try and keep this to 10 series throughout the quarter and then 5 from each of the months. I've decided to throw that into the wind as April only has 7 releases, series included, and so my numbers just didn't match out. So I have 33 things to talk to you about today that I am super excited for, and I hope that you can also be excited for them. So these are going to be in chronological order and combine both series continuations and any other releases of that month all in the one, rather than having my 10 series and then the rest. As per usual, I don't have too much of a description for these. I will just probably be reading a little bit off Goodreads, so let's dive in. For April, the first is coming out on the 5th, and that is Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. The tagline that has caught me is a virtuoso performance that is as human and tender as it is intellectually playful. Sea of Tranquility is a novel of time travel and metaphysics that precisely captures the reality of our current moment. So I believe this is historical fiction of 1912 and is dealing with a plague and also music. So similar to the Shakespearean, similar to Station 11, I feel like she's drawing on similar elements, and I'm really curious to see how this goes. I still do need to read Station 11, but I feel like this is going to become a new favorite author once I dive into their work. The next 2 releases come out on the 12th of April, and the first being Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins Valdez. This is based on the true events of a black nurse in post-segregation Alabama who blows the whistle on the terrible wrongs being done to their patients. But by the looks of it, this also has the continuation decades later, so I'm curious to see if it is a dual timeline or if it's just the one and retelling of it or looking back on it as well. So very curious to see how that actually shapes up, but it looks really interesting, and I know that this is quite a popular author for historical fiction. The next is An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. Ash received an arc of this at work and I saw it and I was like, ah! So I grabbed it. The star arced through the skies and cracked in half as it fell back to earth. One piece landed first, the other tumbled for a longer stretch. In these 2 moments, 2 children were born and given their names, Hunter, Yi, and Luna Chain. So I don't know anything else about this, and honestly, I'm okay not knowing because I loved An Astonishing Colour of After, so I'm just keen to get into their next work. And this is the second one coming out on the 12th of April. Next, on the 19th of April, we have Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the second in the Black Sun series, so I don't know anything about either of them. I own Black Sun and have been meaning to read it for ages, but the second one is now being released, so if you're interested, I definitely recommend picking it up. Then on the 26th, we have 3 releases, the first being Netherland Bone by T. Kingfisher. I received an arc of this off NetGalley and have actually read it and really enjoyed it. There's a ragtag group of people, so Mara, who is a third-born princess turned almost nun, a grave witch, a reluctant fairy godmother, a strapping former knight, and a chicken possessed by a demon. So you had me at chicken possessed by a demon, and oh my god, it was hilarious. I had so much fun with this, and it's something short and quirky and a really great palette cleanser, so I definitely had a lot of fun with this, and I can't wait to pick up T. Kingfisher's other work because I haven't read anything else by them, but I'm now definitely intrigued. It's got a lot of magical elements to it, and the necromancy behind it is also adorable. There's also a bone dog. Oh, it was just hilarious, and I gave it 4 stars. I really loved it, so if you're interested, definitely pick it up. The next is The No-Show by Beth O'Leary, so I have a tendency to wait until the next release has come out to read the one before it. So I have read The Flat Share and The Switch, which I really loved. I loved The Flat Share with intense passion. The Switch I really enjoyed, and The No-Show is following 3 protagonists, Joseph Carter, who no one can seem to find. So it's got a lot of fun little mystery elements to it, and I'm just curious to see. It is a contemporary though, and it's usually romance based, so I definitely will be eager to pick this up. So I'm definitely keen to continue on reading the Beth O'Leary train and just having fun with her tropes that she chooses to use. And then the final book that I have for April is Elektra by Jennifer Saint. I recently read Ariadne and really loved it, so I'm curious to see her take on Elektra. I don't know too much much about the story and I don't want to look up too much. I just would like to go in blind. Sorry, I can't give you more of a description, but if you're interested in mythology of any description, feel free to check this out and investigate a little bit further. So diving into May. On the 3rd of May, I have 3 releases. The first being Book of Night by Holly Black. I have no idea what this is about, but I'm curious to pick up her adult work. This is her first dip into adult literature. I have read the Spiderwick Chronicles and the first in the Cruel Prince series and enjoy her as a writer, so I'm curious to see how she goes. But again, I have no idea what this is about and I want to go in blind. The next is Seasonal Fears by Shauna Maguire, which is the sequel companion thing to Middle Game. I don't know anything about this. I still don't understand what Middle Game was about, even though I really had a great time reading it. I have got an arc for Seasonal Fears off NetGalley, so I will hopefully be reading it in April to be able to form my opinions on it and see how we go, but I'm very curious to continue on with this series. And the final release for the 3rd of May is Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I absolutely loved We Were Liars when I read it in 2017. I'm excited for this. I'm definitely going to read it because I loved We Were Liars and I thought the twist on it was really interesting. The thing is, I don't know how this is going to work because it is a prequel. Who knows? I don't want to investigate into it at all. I just want to go in blind and have no expectations and see where it takes me, because I feel like that is the best way to go into an Ian Lockhart if you're going in for the ride, and we'll see how we go. I'm sorry, again, I can't give more of a description because I refuse to look up what it is about, but if you liked We Were Liars, feel free to investigate further into this one. Then on the 10th of May, we have Wild Seed Witch by Marty Damas. This cover is stunning. So I'm just going to read the blurb from Goodreads. Hassani's post 7th grade summer to-do list is pretty simple. Get a bigger following on her makeup YouTube channel and figure out how to get her parents back together. What she does not expect is that an emotional outburst will spark a latent magical ability in her, or that the magic will be strong enough to attract the attention of witches, or that before she can say #BlackGirlMagic, she'll be shipped off on a scholarship to a fancy finishing school for talented young ladies. Les Belles Demoiselles is a literal charm school. Here, generations of young ladies from old money witch families have learned to harness their magic, and alumni grow to become some of the most powerful women across industries, including politicians, philanthropists, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and yes, even social media influencers. Needless to say, admission to the school is highly coveted, very exclusive. Hanansi sticks out like a weed in a rose bouquet. While the other girls have always known they were destined to be witches, Hassani is a wild seed, a stray witch from a family of non-witches with no background knowledge, no way to control her magic, and a lot to catch up on. Wild seed may be an insult that the other girls throw at her, but wild seeds are more powerful than they know. And Hassani will learn that there are ways to use magic and thrive that can never be taught in a classroom. Like, yes! Oh, it sounds absolutely amazing. So I am so excited. This is going to be the first in a series. So I can't wait to see how this all progresses. I hope that we stay with the magical school for a while, because that is a trope that I love and I would love to see her grow and develop, but I'm so keen to see what this has to offer. Then also on the 10th, we have some bangers coming out on the 10th, is Misrule by Heather Walter. I will have sold my soul to try and get an arc of this, which has not happened as of yet, but I am trying. This is probably my most anticipated release of this year and I am beyond excited for this. So this is the conclusion to the Malice duology and I'm not prepared. I refuse to look at the synopsis. I refuse to know anything in further detail because this was just, Malice was just a top tier book for me, and I'm going to go in and just experience what Heather Walter shoves in my face, and I cannot wait. The next book is coming out on the 17th of May, and that is The Lesbians Guide to Catholic School by Sonora Rees, and this is 17-year-old Yamilet Flores prefers drawing attention for her killer eyeliner, not for being the new kid at a mostly white, very rich Catholic school. But at least here no one knows she's gay, and Yami intends to keep it that way. After being outed by her crush and ex-best friend, she could use a fresh start. At Slayton Catholic, Yami has new priorities. Make her mom proud, keep her brother out of trouble, and most importantly, don't fall in love. Granted, she's never been great at any of those things, but that's a problem for future Yami. The thing is, it's hard to fake being straight when Bo, the only openly queer girl at school, is so annoyingly perfect and smart and talented and cute. Either way, Yami isn't going to make the same mistake again. If word got back to her mum, she could face a lot worse than rejection. So she'll have to start asking WWSGD, what would a straight girl do? Told in a captivating voice that is by turns hilarious, vulnerable, and searingly honest, the Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School explores the joys and heartaches of living your full truth out loud. That just fills me with joy. Like, I'm so excited to see this. I think that it's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited to see what this explores and how they go about it, but I think it's going to be really, really interesting, heartfelt, and just a good time as well. Then on the 24th of May we have 2 releases. The first being You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. So the sentence that got me for this was, Akwaeke Emezi reimagines the love story in this fresh and seductive novel about a young woman seeking joy while healing from loss. Faye Adeloa wants to learn how to be alive again. It's been 5 years since the accident that killed the love of her life, and she's almost a new person now. An artist with her own studio and sharing a brownstone apartment with her ride or die best friend Joy, who insists it's time for Frey to ease back into the dating scene. Frey isn't ready for anything serious, but a steamy encounter at a rooftop party cascades into a whirlwind summer that she could never have imagined. A luxury trip to a tropical island, decadent meals in the glamorous home of a celebrity chef, and a major curator who wants to launch her art career. She's even started dating the perfect guy, but their new relationship might be sabotaged before it has a chance by the dangerous thrill Faye feels every time she locks eyes with the one person in the house who is most definitely off limits. Yes, I love Akwaeke Emezi's writing, and I'm curious to see their take on this. I would love to read The Death of Vivek Oji, which I feel like, whilst not similar in vibes, have more of that contemporary adult literature base, and I'm curious to see how that shapes and then do a comparison between the two. So yes, if anyone has received an early copy, let me know what you think of it down below, or if you're excited to check it out. The next is Primal Animals by Julia Lynn Rubin, and this cover, holy dooly. So this is described as a horror young adult lesbian thriller mystery, so I'm assuming it's going to be dark, but the caption is, protect the girls Ali Gold is anxious about spending the summer at a college prep camp Rockaway, the same camp her mother attended years ago, which her mother insists will give Ali a fresh start and will change her life. Little does Ali know that once she steps foot on manicured grounds, this will prove to be true in horrifying ways. Even though the girls in her cabin are awesome and she's developing a major crush on the girl who sleeps in the bunk above her, the other campers seem to be wary of Ali, unwilling to talk to her or be near her, which only ramps up her paranoia. When she's tapped to join a secret society, Ali thinks this will be her shot at fitting in, until her new sisters ask her to do the unthinkable, putting her life and the life of her new crush in perilous danger. This just sounds so interesting, and I'm really curious to see how it goes. And again, the cover, stunning. And then on the 31st of May we have 3 releases. The first being Deep in Providence by Rhys M. Nielsen. The description is, for best friends Milani, Inez, Natalie and Jasmine, Providence, Rhode Island has a magic of its own. From the bodegas and late night food trucks on Broad Street to the hill that watches over the city, every corner of Providence glows with the memories of them practicing spells, mixing up potions and doing seances with the help of the magic Milani's Filipino grandfather taught her. But when Jasmine is killed by a drunk driver, the world they have always known is left haunted by grief and Jasmine's lingering spirit. Determined to bring her back, the surviving friends band together, testing the limits of their magic and everything they know about life, death and each other. And as their plan to resurrect Jasmine grows darker and more demanding than they imagine, their separate lives begin to splinter the bonds they depend on, revealing buried secrets that threaten the people they care about most. Milani, Inez and Natalie will have to rely on more than just their mystical abilities to find the light. Again, cover, stunning, and I just think this is really interesting and not a take that I see done frequently, so I'm really curious to see how it all shapes up. The next is Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. So this is the second in the Amari series. I definitely recommend you pick up Amari and the Night Brothers. It's just fantastic. If you want whimsical middle grade that just feels like a warm hug, this is definitely a series for you. I'm so excited to get to the second one and just devour it immediately. And then the other one is The Blood Trader by Lynette Noni, which is the third in the Prison Healer series. I have not read any of them, but I know that they are well loved by those that do, so I thought I would mention that the third one is coming out. Alright, so diving into June, I have 15 that I want to talk about. So the first 7 are coming out on the 7th of June. My wallet is already crying. The first is Wrath Gotta Sing by Maya Dean. The cover, yes, The synopsis, fuck yes. Here we go. Drawing on ancient texts and modern archaeology to reveal the trans woman's story hidden underneath the well-known myths of the Iliad, Maya Dean's Wrath Goddess Sing weaves a compelling, pitiless, beautiful vision of Achilles' vanished world, perfect for fans of Song of Achilles and the Inheritance trilogy. The gods wanted blood. She fought for love. Achilles has fled her home and her vicious Myrmidon clan to live as a woman with the Kalai, the transgender priestesses of great goddess Aphrodite. When Odysseus comes to recruit the prince Achilles for a war against Hittites, she must prepare to die rather than fight as a man. However, her divine mother Athena intervenes, transforming her body into the woman's body she has always longed for, and promises her everything: glory, power, fame, victory in war, and most importantly, a child born of her own body. Reunited with her beloved cousin Patroclus and his brilliant wife, the sorceress Meriope, Achilles set out to the war with a vengeance. But the gods, a dysfunctional family of abusive mortals that have glutted on human sacrifices for centuries, have woven ancient schemes more blood-soaked and nightmarish than Achilles can imagine. At the center of it all is the cruel, immortal Helen, who sees Achilles as a worthy enemy after millennia of ennui and emptiness. In love with her newfound nemesis, Helen sets out to destroy everything and everyone Achilles cherishes, seeking a battle to the death. An innovative spin on a familiar tale, this is a Trojan War unlike anything ever told, and Achilles, whose vulnerability is revealed by the people she chooses to fight and chooses to trust. Myth, my love, LGBT. So there is a very strong likelihood of me picking that up pretty close to its release date. Even if I don't manage to read it in time, I will still acquire it because goddamn. The next is The Holloway Girls by Susan Crispell. This I do have an arc from NetGalley as well, so hopefully reading that in May in preparation. When your kiss is good luck, the wrong kiss could change everything. During the kissing season, one kiss from Remy or her older sister Maggie will give the boy or girl good luck. Or so it has been for all the Holloway girls before. But this year, in Remy's first season, she doesn't follow the rules, dooming the boy she kisses to bad luck that almost kills him and leaving Remy with a cursed kissing season. Now Remy is adamant about keeping her lips to herself, but the new boy in town is making it hard to keep her promise, especially because he seems to really want to know her and it isn't just using her for Holloway life. But before she can even think about kissing someone else, she will have to find a way to fix the curse or else her family legacy will be tainted forever. I love that idea. It's cute, it's YA, it seems like a whole lot of fun, and I just adore the fact that there's a whole kissing season. Like, brilliant. So very curious to get to this one and be able to tell you all my thoughts. The next is Relic and Ruin by Wendy McIver. So this is the Banshee and the Wraith. I'm done. I'm sold. They have the power to save the world or destroy it. In a place unlike any other, two brothers set off on an ancient, epic, and never-ending battle. This world is controlled by necromancers and reapers. One side pulls people back up through the earth and the other cuts them down again. One ancient family, the Lahays, have been tasked again and again with keeping the balance between the worlds. As Nyx Lahay, born a necromancer but raised a reaper, is on the front lines. Lately though, Nyx is wrestling with her identity as she's thrown into an adventure filled with prophecies and the kinds of danger you can cut down with a giant scythe. While chasing a creature that's killing young girls, Nyx runs headlong and gun drawn into Erebus Salem, a hunter who has the ability to turn into a raven to escape danger. Erebus also harbors a secret. He's not alive. Can Nyx and Erebus master their newfound powers? And even if they do, can they survive? So I think this sounds fantastic. I love the idea of pitting different creatures against one another, and also the undead versus the hunters, and just all of that sounds fantastic. So I'm really curious to see what people think and how this one shapes up. The cover is a choice. But I'm still really curious to see what people think. The next is Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. This is Prepared to Die, His Kingdom is Near. 16-year-old trans boy Benji is on the run from the cold that raised him, the fundamentalist sect that unleashed Armageddon and decimated the world's population. Desperately, he searches for the place where the cult can't get their hands on him, or more importantly, on the bioweapon they infected him with. But when cornered by monsters born from the destruction, Benji is rescued by a group of teens from the local Asian LGBT plus center, affectionately known as Alk. The Alk's leader, Nick, is gorgeous, autistic, and a deadly shot, and he knows Benji's darkest secret. The cult's bioweapon is mutating him into a monster deadly enough to wipe humanity from the earth once and for all. Still, Nick offers Benji shelter among his ragtag group of queer teens, as long as Benji can control the monster and use its power to defend the ALC. Eager to belong, Benji accepts Nick's terms, until he discovers the ALC's mysterious leader has a hidden agenda and more than a few secrets of his own. A furious queer debut novel about embracing the monster within and unleashing its power against your oppressors. Perfect for fans of Gideon the Ninth and Annihilation. Damn, that's a lot going on. I think this is going to be really, really interesting, and I love the exploration of using bioweapons and mutated creatures, unleashing your own power and controlling those feelings and emotions. So I'm very curious to see what this is. I do know that this is quite a popular new release that's making its rounds, so I can't wait to get to it. Next up, I have The Girl in the Glim by India Swift. This is a graphic novel that I think, just having a look at Goodreads, was released back in 2017. It is a graphic novel and it is being re-released, I suppose, this year. So I've received an arc from NetGalley and very keen to get to it. It looks like it's going to be cute. There isn't actually a synopsis, but the cover will be on the screen, and I'm just very curious to see what it's all about. Then, series coming out on the 7th of June is For the Throne by Hannah Whitten. This is the second in the For the Wolf series, and I have no idea what it's about. I have the first one, still haven't read it yet, but the second one is coming out and I'm very curious. This cover looks fantastic, and yeah, so if you're interested, there you go. And then the other series that's coming out is Wicked Beauty by Katie Robert, which is the third in the Dark Olympus series. So the first being Neon Gods and Electric Idol. I have read and loved both of those with a fiery passion. I am hot damn so damn excited for this release. Basically, I'm gonna put it this way. It is another trio between Achilles, Patroclus, and Helen, but a retelling of it. Can't wait. I'm so excited. I cannot begin to express just how excited I am for this, and good lord, yes. Then we have on the 14th of June, Mira Menden by Alexei Harrod. This is the second in the Fractured Fable series. I have no idea what it's about. I just know that they're short little novellas and I need to read Smiddle Splintered. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm curious and it's coming out, so I will eagerly await its release. Then on the 21st of June, we have This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Bayring. This is the second in the Poison Heart series, and I cannot wait to get to this. I really loved the first book when it came out, and so I'm curious to see how the rest of the story continues on. It left in a way that has me anticipating the sequel to see what actually shapes up and who was involved in this process. Then on the 23rd of June, we have This Final Strife by Sarah Alifri, and this is a Arabian African inspired trilogy. So this is the first book, and it is based around 3 women that band together to take down the cruel empire. The system is broken up into the color of your blood, so similar to both the Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna and Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Red is the blood of the elite, of magic, of control. Blue is the blood of the poor, of workers, of the resistance. Clear is the blood of the slaves, of the crushed, of the invisible. So that's all I need to know. I'm keen for it. Then on the 26th of June, we have Sometime in Summer by Katrina Leno. This is their new release, and I'm very curious. I do love Katrina Leno's work, so I believe this is a tender love letter to books and summertime and a touch of magic. So I'm definitely keen to pick this up and see how it goes. Then on the 28th of June, we have 4 releases. The first being Stealing Infinity by Alison Knoll. This sounds amazing. The cover, beautiful. When a young girl with an unusual gift is whisked away to the academy for time-traveling teens, she becomes the target of a sinister organization hell-bent on rewriting history in this clever and fast-paced YA that is guaranteed to become your next fantasy romance obsession. I'm here. That is all I need to know. Sign me the fuck up. Then we have Bladebreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is the second in the Realmbreaker series. I have no idea, haven't read the first, but it's coming out if you're interested. Then we have Locklands by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the third in the Foundry Side series. I know a lot of people love it, and I hope that you are aware that the third one's coming out if you do want to pick it up. I definitely am curious to get into this series eventually, so fingers crossed one day I can get to it and just binge it and love it. And then finally we have Godslayers by Zoe Hannah Makudu, which is the second to Gearbreakers. Again, quite a popular release, so this second one is coming out. Sorry I don't have more of a synopsis for the series, but I refuse to look it up if I haven't read the first. Alrighty, so that is the 33 anticipated releases that I have coming out in April, May and June. I hope you found something that you can add to your TBR and get excited for. Let me know in the comments below which one you are most excited for, because holy damn, there are some good ones. If you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!